Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to some, probably. Today, I have the pleasure to welcome our guests and have a friendly conversation, a friendly discussion, a friendly roundtable to discuss very interesting topics related with AI and business entrepreneurship in general. We will start with a short intro. I will share some facts about webinar and Visionaries NV and TechEdge Dynamics. Oh, we have more panelists joining us. Thank you. Welcome, Rafael. Okay, we can see Emmy also. Good. We do a short round of intros, so all the panelists will be able to share some facts about them, who they are, what they're doing, what kind of businesses, companies they are representing. And then we're gonna jump into a discussion. I will moderate this session. I will ask some questions, and we gonna discuss around real facts, histories, real life experience around with all the panelists. So that's the plan for today. One more time, thank you for joining. I will start with myself. Short intro. My name is Tomasz Boinski. I live in LA. I'm working with Rafał Henryk Kartaszyński. I'm a partner at VisionariesNV and at TechEdge Dynamics. As VisionariesNV, we specialize in growing the business community in Nevada, and we're helping companies around the world to soft land in United States. For TechEdge Dynamics, the company is a venture studio software house building custom software for our clients, serving American clients, building software for them. So that's my short intro. Maybe a little bit about me. I've been managing projects, building products for more than 15 years. I have strong passion to startups, and that's what I'm doing most of the time here in States for more than 6 years now. I have founders as a mentor. I'm also a startup founder, so I'm building my own startups also on the side, and I'm working as a fractional CTO, and I'm managing our clients' portfolio at TechEdge Dynamics. So that's from my part, my side. The order will be random. I will ask somebody on the screen according to who's next on my screen. So, Jason, the floor is yours. Please, short intro from your side.
Yeah, my name is Jason Schifrin. I am a local real estate agent here in Las Vegas. I run the Schifrin Realty Group. We're powered by Real Broker. I've been doing it for about 12 years. My joke is the hair on my face used to be on my head when I got into the business at first.
Good joke.
And it was also less gray at the time too. Like I said, I've been doing this for 12 years. Myself and my team, we really pride ourselves in having that human connection, which with AI and everything that's coming into place nowadays, how can we utilize it as a tool but not as a replacement? Yeah, looking forward to being on this panel.
Thank you, Jason. Emmy.
I'm Amy Novak, and I'm here in Las Vegas as well. I started a school about 6 years ago, and since then, our school has a second location in Reno, and then we also this year have kind of developed a children's mental and behavioral health portion that we've added to as its own little baby startup within our startup. So. We use AI in a number of ways, and we found both on the education side and on the children's mental and behavioral health, it's been an amazing tool for us. It obviously doesn't replace us, but what we work on then with the children in our space is understanding the tool and how it's used, that it's not a toy, it's not something that we just copy paste. So we've done some, I think, innovative things as far as allowing kids to use AI, because it's something that's going to be in their future, and it's better they know and understand what they're doing than to say, like, don't touch this, because that's like a hot stove to a child. So
Amazing. Thank you, Amy, for this. And Rafael, I see you driving. You're still commuting. Are you able to?
Yes. sorry about that. I'm coming back from a meeting with Mayor Berkeley, so I'm in the car. I'll be in at my computer in 3 minutes. I think I already see my gate.
Okay.
But yeah, but welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Rafael, and who you see on the screen is all my friends, right? Jason helped me. Jason helped me a lot when we were like moving here and setting it up. So he helped me buy our house, first rent our house, then buy our house. Amy helped immensely with our kids. She's like aunt to my kids, like one of our closest family here, kind of, right? So yeah, so I'm still an entrepreneur, mentor, investor, and now my passion is to help other companies to be successful in the US, to come here, because it's such a different market. You cannot just do the same thing you do on the other markets. So I'm glad to be part of this. My PhD is in computer science, but I'm more kind of like businessman, since I founded this with my dad, this company in Poland that is in medical diagnostic space. But we use AI there too. So yeah, so happy to be here and share my experience.
Okay, so see you in 3 minutes from your desk. Thank you, Rafael, one more time. Jason and me also, thank you very much. And I think it's time to share some questions, to ask some questions, and start the discussion rolling. One remark. Maybe Paulina, try to pull some interesting questions also from the chat. So chat, yes, please. So all the attendees, please drop some questions in the chat. Paulina or Connie will pick some of the questions maybe from the attendees. For now, I'm gonna ask first question. Of course, I'll also be the one who's gonna answer the question. So I'll also share my perspective as a I would say, I don't want to call myself AI expert, but that's the label for this panel. But I'm definitely a power user, heavy user. I'm using AI for heavy lifting quite often. Okay, first question. I would like to ask you about your history with this whole AI experience. Just briefly, like to share your story about AI. When you learned about AI, how was the first step, the first interaction using AI, whatever the AI was, maybe a chatbot already, or maybe used AI in different use cases, different situations in the past. So your story, when was your first time with AI? So yeah, maybe Amy, a question to you. How your story with AI began?
It probably started with the movie Terminator.
Oh,
I mean,
amazing.
if you want to think about like back to like what's possible or what's real, I mean, we're watching that so many years ago and then thinking like, could the world really evolve to have this? So like I can think back to those moments. I think a lot of my first interactions with it were probably frustrating because it would be, you know, you were trying to reach out to maybe a customer service representative, but you were getting something that wasn't the real person. So you would ask it something and it wouldn't understand what you were trying to get to. You just wanted to speak to a customer service agent. So that's probably my first interaction, which I would say would have been the emotion I carried was frustration because it wasn't understanding what I was trying to ask. And so looking at how that's evolved even over the last 5 years to, you know, a year, 2 years to a year ago to 6 months ago, like it's changed so rapidly. And now looking at how seamless the tools are for us and the way that we use them, I think that it will continue to do that, but we try to always blend in the human balance to it as well, since we are the users of it. I think that modeling that for younger generations, because they're going to grow up with this being a part of their day-to-day life and interaction, that learning how we blend it is really important in creating kind of that next user or creator of it. And so
yeah, thank you.
I get inspired by it, to be honest, especially today.
Okay, thank you very much for this, Annie. Jason, your story, your history. When was the first time? How you used it?
Yeah. I have this conversation with my friends from time to time, and no one remembers this, but back in like the early 2000s on AIM and MSN Messenger, there was a chat bot called Smarter Child, and no one remembers this. People think I'm making up this memory, but that was my first like real interaction with it. Looking back now, like knowing what we know as artificial intelligence now. But I remember it was like maybe the end of 2019, a friend of mine is a filmmaker in LA. And on his Instagram, he was posting all of these AI photos using something called Dali.
Hmm.
And I remember messaging him about it. And he was like, yeah, because, I'm like kind of somewhat in the industry. I was given access to this model. I mean, and it was incredible. I mean, he was like, here's a picture of my dog. Make it look like my dog is driving a fire truck. And then that version of Dali was released to the public, and it looked absolutely nothing like the version that he was playing with. Jump forward a couple months later at our realtor association in our trends committee, they introduced something to us called Chat GPT. This was like, I want to say this was like January of 2020, so right before, everything really started changing. But maybe it was 2021, but that was when I was first introduced to ChatGPT. And it was very limited in what you can use it for. And I think you even had a time limit, if memory serves, when ChatGPT, when OpenAI first released that to the public. And then just over time using ChatGPT, because these large language models, they learn, they adapt. So I've taught it, things to do in my voice and in my tonality, to not use the dashes, because I think when you see a post with the dashes, you almost
Yeah.
automatically think this might be AI. And then that's evolved into using Gemini. I use Google Workspace, Google for Business.
Hmm.
Um, so I Gemini, and now with Grok. So using these large language models, these chatbots that I remember as Smarter Child on AOL Instant Messenger and MSN Messenger, that no one else seems to remember, but I know it existed.
Yeah.
And just seeing how that's all evolved. So that's mainly what I use, are these large language models, but I use other things as well, such as things that'll record my conversations with clients and whatnot.
Gotcha, gotcha. Thank you, Jason, for this amazing history. For now, I see we're all veterans. Like we started with ChatGPT, probably we all started with this journey when ChatGPT become like very famous and well adapted tool. Rafael, I will ask you. So the same question to you, because this is very sentimental one. Tell us about your first step. First thing, when was it, and how you learned about AI? What was so impressive during those days?
I will be boring because as I mentioned, I'm a computer scientist, right? So I was actually using AI for my PhD master, actually for PhD, and it was, but back then you had to write your own AI, right? You had to create your models, right? You had to train your network. So it was 2000 something something. Uh, so it was like a few years ago. But like how it is used now, I think, like, so for me, AI was never kind of like it was always a tool for me, never something kind of that I was like not familiar with. I just use
Hmm.
it more for like first, for, as I said, like for studying, kind of like research. But then, like, the product we have in our company, but that's also kind of like basis is based on my experience with imaging, right? Because my specialty is diagnostic imaging in medical. So I was like, my research was on early detection of strokes on MRI perfusion images. So I was like in computer vision for years, and
Yes,
now, and
same
now,
story for me. Computer
yeah.
vision,
So it's
yes.
like I will be very like a boring in this sense. I will be just like I'll be like a smart guy. Oh, I knew about it from
Thank
from
you.
from day one.
Thank you, Rafael, for this one. Yes, like actually for me also, I'm also like a computer person, computer science person. Graduated with computer science, and I remember my early days with AI. I was totally I would say even totally obsessed with computer vision and basically computer vision recognition, trying to train my own models. I think I use the YOLO library. That's the most popular open source library to train your own model using a data set of pictures. And I remember my first exercise when AI was like for gigs, like basically for gigs. Those times, like I tried to learn my solution, my technical solution to recognize the numbers on the buses. So you have like incoming bus on the street, you're standing far away on a bus stop, and you can't see because you're somehow vision impaired. You can see clearly the number. So I was trying to get those numbers out of the street, out of the bus, which is far away, distant bus, and to understand what kind of recognize exactly what the number of the bus is. So like somebody could like like a real life case, look at a real life challenge to understand to know, oh, your bus is coming. The bus 152 is coming to the bus stop. Like to have this kind of information in front to see clearly. So I remember second use case I was trying to process, like to understand what kind of a bill I have in my hand. Like to look at my hand to recognize the bill. It was a dollar, it was Polish zloty or different currency. And then of course like 2022, I think in November the premiere, the big premiere of ChatGPT publicly for everybody, and that was the start of this madness. Okay, now let's go deeper. Let's go into business topics.
We
So,
also have some, Tom, sorry, I will say something, but we have
yeah.
few questions in the chat.
Okay, okay.
Like 5.
Okay,
6.
but let's wait with those questions. Let's wait with those questions.
Okay,
Like
okay.
let's finish this eternal round. So my second question, it will be like a following question about the history. So I would like to ask you now about your first moment when you used AI for in your business, doing your ordinary daily the business as usual activities, and you used AI for something to solve a problem or to achieve something, like to do some task or achieve a specific outcome. And when you actually were super impressed with the output, with the outcome of AI. So this aha moment of AI, but not for like your personal life, but for your business. Like when was it, and what kind of problem you were trying to solve? So who would like to answer this one? I'm asking for a volunteer. Jason,
Yeah,
tell us
I
about
I
it.
could start with this one. So like I said in my intro, I really pride like the human touch, especially in real estate. Um, but and then I kind of want Rafal to cover his ears here because he's a past client, so he's gonna hear a little secret here that I do. I write, and for years I've always written personal notes to all of my clients to give that personal touch long after the transaction. But these notes they take a while to do, to think about exactly what I want to say, um, so it doesn't always sound the same. So it's not always just this rigid, like I'm just checking in. There was like a thought process that goes into it. So one day I went on to ChatGPT and I said, I write letters to my past clients all the time. I want to write a letter to this person today. This is what I want to talk about. Within 3 seconds, it had like a 2 paragraph little personal note. Did not like the way it came out initially at first, but it gave me a really good starting point from that point. What I then realized I could do is I could feed ChatGPT letters that I write to my clients so it can learn the way I speak. So then over time, it's become a lot quicker. So it's, hey, I want to write a letter to this person. I just saw them or I just stopped by their house. They told me X, Y, and Z, write me a letter. So now instead of me taking, 2 hours out of my day to write a few letters to people, I can maybe write 5 letters in about an hour because I've trained ChatGPT to know my language, to know the way I like to speak and the way I like to write, because I do think that the way I write is very similar to how I talk. And it takes the guesswork of how do I phrase it this way? I don't overthink things. It's just, this is what I want to say, put it in a letter form, I handwrite it. So I'm now utilizing it as a tool, but still providing that human connection. I think that
Thank
was
you.
really like the first thing I did.
Thank you, Jason. That's really impressive. Very nice example. Emmy, your first time, your aha moment with AI in your work, with your work.
I would say the first time I started to use it is when, you kind of start to build and scale what you do, and you're creating your own content, whether it's an employee handbook or a contract or something like that. So doing all of those things and putting them together used to take several days or hours. There was 15-hour days just kind of sitting at a keyboard, typing stuff out. And then I started to learn and realize the more that I put in and told it how to sound, the more it was like it came out of my own brain. So that was, I think, the aha moment is it started to eventually sound like me and sound like something I would write, because I learned if I copied and pasted a piece of writing that I already used and put it in and said, we're going to replace this word with this word, it started to learn the language that I use, the language that we use within our organization. And so it made it very simple then. Like this morning, I said, create this checklist for me, for our environment. And it gave me what our environment is. I didn't have to tell it. It's already learned that much about what I'm doing. So I'm a writer. I love to write. And now I feel like I have the capacity to do so much more than I would be able to, and create so much more.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Amy. And Rafael, your aha moment, your first aha moment, like real deal from AI, you achieved something spectacular for your work.
Okay, so I will use like maybe recent examples,
Okay.
nothing really like a
spectacular aha moment. We're looking
maybe
for
not like
this.
spectacular. Spectacular was like when I started to think about it, like about rags, right? And how we can kind of like feed them with a bunch of data, and how useful it can be from a business point of view, right? And because like as a business, right, you need to have like this kind of like very deep understanding of your own company, of your environment, and how it's called. You can look it up. There's very cool articles about this, and it's also actually in my book. Cool articles on Harvard Business Review about this concept about foresight, insight, and cross-sight. It's something that kind of like created Disney as well, right? But you can notice that when Disney is successful, they focus on the core, right? And they focus on this deep understanding. And Walt Disney himself kind of had this already like figured out years ago, dozens of years ago. He had it like figured out what's the core of a company, and it's kind of and each time they kind of go away from it, it breaks. Every time they go back to it, it fixes itself, right? So he had like this deep understanding of a business. And with RAGs, right, when we kind of feed them with all this data, I doubt it's kind of like as much as that, but it can really help you to understand much more about your business, get more about like information from the system, and kind of help you improve your kind of like foresight. It's called theory of your company, right? So it kind of helps you stick to that theory of your company, distill it even better. And that was kind of like that's really strategic tool, right? Because like it can help me write things, right? That was kind of like obvious for me, but I'm looking for kind of like more strategic things, and that was cool. Also, what I use AI a lot is for research. So kind of like deep research, like going beyond Google search, beyond like what's on the surface, but also referencing other sources, finding referencing books and stuff. That's what I kind of find very useful.
I will ask you a following question. What's your favorite tool to do research? That's probably very interesting.
Perplexity. I like Perplexity.
Okay, Perplexity. Okay, we
I
have
know
one,
you are using ChatGPT, but sometimes I'm
I
using ChatGPT. But to be honest, like for research, I very often like I found Perplexity better, but it depends. It depends on social. Very often, if something is very important, I will kind of like use both.
Thank you. I wish also share my aha moment, like what was like super important for me, and it's like a very strong sentimental memory. My biggest impression probably was, of course, using ChatGPT, the opportunity to create your own custom chatbot, and I believe that was super impressive. I think this is like a 1 year old or 2 years old feature. So within ChatGPT, you can create your own custom chatbot. You can add specific sources. I think up to 20 files. There's of course like a limit. You can add, for instance, you can add documents with your emails, with your writing, things like this, with specific let's say inputs. I don't want to say books, but like with specific input, and ChatGPT will under also specific criteria, under specific system prompt, you can also define that, can act as a very specific expert using your personal inputs, and that was amazing. I think that was the whole feature was a game changer, because it's providing this kind of personal touch for your chatbot experience. You can create your own AI expert to chat with, and it was basically very affordable and very easy for use. I'm not sure this is for free. I think you have to at least subscribe to the basic paid tier to create custom GPTs, and you can of course share those custom GPTs. That's another interesting fact. But custom GPTs for people, for the masses, that's the most beautiful thing, aha moment for me. Because in the past I also invested some time in building proprietary custom chatbots, and this was a huge game changer, because it was so easy. Okay, thank you for this. Let's maybe pull one question from the audience. I will start with a simple one. Imagine you want to advise somebody who's new to AI, just like just somebody who heard something a little bit about AI, and that person finally decided to try. So I would like to ask you guys, what would be your advice from where or which tool to use, how to start? Maybe there's like a specific path you took in the past that would you like to share. Hey, start with this, then try that. Where to start, and what will be the tool you recommend for the beginners? Jason.
I would probably recommend starting simple. Go to ChatGPT. They were the first big name in the space. They are probably the biggest name in the space. Although there is now some competition when it comes to like Google Gemini and X Grok. But I would start with ChatGPT. Um, Even run it alongside Google for a little while. Like not Gemini, but Google. Like try to Google something and then try to ChatGPT something and kind of just take it from there. You don't need to pay for it right away.
Okay.
I do have a subscription to OpenAI for ChatGPT just because a lot of the things I do, I want it to go faster. But that took me many months of using the free version beforehand. And I think if you're just getting started, go simple. ChatGPT.com. I don't even think you need to register an account right away.
Gotcha. Thank you. Amy, how would you recommend to start the journey?
Kind of similar to what Jason said. And then I would say like a second step is start to take your authentic writing and put it in there so that it begins to recognize your tone and your voice. That's, I think, is a really important, valuable thing. I wish I would have started with that initially instead of just kind of creating my own stuff and then going through the iteration process of it. And the second part is I use another tool called Notebook LM. And that's been fabulous in the education space because it gives us so many different tools, and it can give us tools based upon what we've already written. It can give us tools based on video, audio. It gives us a lot of opportunity to change maybe one way to learn information and change it into several different ways to learn the information. So that's been a valuable tool as well. And not be afraid to kind of experiment because like from that experimentation, the failure, you learn better than the next time.
Thank you very much, Amy. Rafael, I will ask you another question from our attendees. From your perspective as a successful business owner with years of experience, how important is now, especially now in 2026, for a company to open itself for AI, to embrace AI and all the benefits?
I think it's important, right? Because it's kind of like an arms race at the end. But to be honest, you have to be kind of like mindful what you are doing. Like remember to turn off sharing the data, right? You can set it in ChatGPT or whatever. If your data that you are providing to the ChatGPT is used to learn the model, right? Because then if it's used, so that data goes to them and they can use it. Like probably they are using it either way, right? So because they were like at the beginning, there were like situation somebody was like providing some company data, like some budgets and stuff for AI to kind of help with, and then those data was kind of like leaked or something, right? So you have to be mindful about this. But you know, at present, like even before, right? We as business owners, we have to navigate so many data, so many touch points, right? Even small business, right? Like what we are doing with Tom, right? It's like 3-4 people, right? But it's like at some point there's a lot of data to process, or like as visionaries when we have like dozens of members, right? We have to. It's at some point it is impossible for one person to kind of get their mind around it.
Yes, exactly.
That's why. That's what AI I think is like. I see it like a biggest advantage. That's why I also mentioned that rags and theory of your company, because that's kind of like from I'm always like looking on a strategy kind of long term things. You know, those like helping to write something. It's cool, right? But I'm also like looking for like a long term applications. But like, you have to remember but you know, like don't share all the data, because data is used to create model. So sometimes, you know, if you are going deep into this with your company, it's good to have something dedicated, like a rags, right? Dedicated rags, on-premise rags. So something that you are not sharing, right? It's only on your data, only on what is in your company. So you're not giving it away, you're not selling it for nothing. And also always remember that AI is as good as data that is provided. So if you put trash in, you will get trash out.
Exactly.
So don't expect like miracles, right? Remember, it's like always validate what you get on the output, because sometimes it's better now, right? But I like this kind of like AI generated text, but it sounds good, right? It sounds very nice, but when you think about like what was said, right? and there's like no content, right? It's like a generic. You ask it to create something very specific, and you like it what you read, but like when you think about, it's like very generic, and there's nothing in it.
Rafael, thank you for this. I would like to ask you, has AI changed the way you make decisions, business decisions? What do you think about the impact of AI on decision making?
I don't think it changed how I make decisions. It helped me get data to make decisions, right?
Oh, okay.
So
that's important. Yes.
Yeah, but you can, you know, maybe I watch too many sci-fi movies, right? I accept like AI, but I'm not kind of like a blind follower of AI, right? I will not it replace my thinking. I don't want it to replace thinking of my kids. It's a tool. In the end, it's a tool. It's just a way for you to be better. but I'm still making decision. AI is just helping me get the data to make a better decision.
Gotcha.
Right?
Thank you,
I
Rafael.
I don't want to allow it to replace, because it's not replacement, right? You are fooling yourself if you think it can replace you. It's augmentation of your skills, and if you allow it to replace your skills, that's your downfall.
Thank you. Ami, I would like to ask the same. What do you think about AI and the impact, maybe the way how AI is changing people making decisions right now? Do you see impact
I
here?
don't know. I don't know that it impacts the way I make decisions. I think what it does is it helps me um, to maybe to increase clarity of a lot of the content that we've developed over the last 5 years. It helps us synthesize it, and it helps us gear it towards different audiences much faster than just me gearing it for an audience of children compared to an audience of parents to compared to an audience of inquiring families. It's allowed me to kind of differentiate very quickly. I would still have operated that way, but it just would have taken me so long to complete or finish that. So for me, it just, I think, although it doesn't change the way we flow or function, it increases our clarity and our communication. And because we've trained it to learn our own version of education, it's been a fabulous tool to be able to share it and share our thoughts more. It's allowed me to write and publish more information and articles. I think because always in the back of my head, I was like, oh, one day I want to write that. Well, now I can sit down and actually do that because it knows who I am and it can help give me feedback on my writing, whereas I may have put that off before. So I think it's allowed all of us to kind of elevate ourselves in the professional world of what education is, and allowed us to provide the clarity in that communication too.
What about the level of trust? I mean, like from your perspective, do you trust AI? Do you trust the content AI is creating? Because you said a lot about content creation, basically writing. So you're gonna receive a specific answer from a chatbot. So tell us about something about you and trust to AI.
So initially I didn't, because it wouldn't give me things that I always read everything it gives me. I'm not just copying and pasting. So initially, until I learned that you have to give it what you've done before to create like this knowledge base, I look at it as like teaching a child. You got to give it some content, some knowledge base in order for it to be able to grow and kind of scaffold and build. So knowing that, I think for me, I trust it because I can read it and I know that information is correct. Maybe I know of a research study or something that backs up what it's telling me. I don't go to it though to find information I'm not aware of. I will still go the long way sometimes to research information, or I'll go to an actual book to still look at the information, because I don't think it can necessarily replace that legwork you have to do. So you're aware, in that reverse situation as the human, that you're still aware of what you're talking about and discussing, so that there's validity behind it. I think that I trust, I guess you could say, like, I trust it as far as I can throw it. Like, I trust it as far as what I already know, or my knowledge base or expanding. I trust it to give me references that I then will go actually read and look at those references. But I don't trust it to replace me or do the job that we do. It is not my brain. It still is. It's a tool, just like a pencil still won't replace the keyboard. Sometimes we still have to pick up a pencil and write. So I look at it in the same fashion.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Jason, I would like to ask you a different question. I would like to ask something about your industry, something industry specific. You're representing real estate industry. I would like to ask you, and I will ask the same question also to Amy and Rafael. Where do you see AI is giving the biggest advantage right now for your industry? How can your industry pull the maximum benefits out of AI? And maybe you can share like a specific use case you saw, or maybe something you're doing right now you're really proud of to share.
Right. So I also sit on our local MLS, which is the multiple listing service. I sit on our board of directors, and recently for all realtors in Las Vegas that use our MLS, we've uh, one of our vendors provides this company called RestBee AI. Um, and there's two like there's one really cool feature to it, but then there's a really amazing practical reason behind it as well. And what RestBee AI does when we upload all of our photos into the MLS um, to make a new listing, Recipe AI scans all of the photos and makes the photo descriptions for the agent. So it's not just the guess as, oh, am I looking at a bedroom or a den? The Recipe AI is going to know by looking at the photo and be able to describe what you're looking at. That's like the cool feature to it, but the practical reason behind it is it helps people who are vision impaired and hearing impaired because it then also spits out the description in not really, the fun, fancy way, but in the this is what you're looking at exactly. Like here is a bedroom with a vent and a ceiling fan, and this is the style of the home. So it allows us to enhance our listings. If our MLS, if all of our listings, if that data is the most valuable thing to know everything there is about homes in Las Vegas, the more we use AI as a tool in this system to enhance that data, the better the information that we have, the better in the long run we're able to price homes and help our people.
So you mean adding more details to the description, for instance?
Correct, because to add details, it requires user input, and to be honest, a lot of people in my industry don't like to do extra work. Um, But that data is so invaluable. To know exactly how many bedrooms are in a home, how many bathrooms are in a home, what a home looks like, what upgrades are in a home. The more data we can put in there, the better the entire community benefits from that. Because now as a practitioner, I'm able to price a home better because when I'm looking at competition in the area or previous sales in the area, I know what I'm looking at by seeing what AI has been able to generate now for us. So again, ultimately, we can't replace ourselves. We joke. So Zillow, um, great platform for what it does, but we joke Zillow can't smell the cat. If there's cat, if the house smells like cat inside, Zillow's not going to know that. AI is not going to know that. I'm going to know that, but AI can give me as much information as I possibly could need, and then I can put that final human touch on it.
Thank you, Jason. Rafael, from your perspective, you're representing the healthcare industry. So, from the healthcare industry perspective, where do you see AI giving the biggest advantage right now for the healthcare?
I think it's like everything, right? It's like the best thing what AI is at is helping us distill sense from data, right? Whatever we are talking here about is all comes down to processing a lot of huge amounts of data, helping us like not traditional the databases that we had to look up houses based on address, based on of I don't know, like a parcel number or something like this. No, it can help us find a house that's green in a given neighborhood, right? So that's where I see like the biggest kind of help to help us helping us organize data. In the same like in medicine, right? It can help. It will help. It will not. I heard like theories that okay, like it will substitute doctors, right? No, that's not possible. And I will we know that planes in most cases can be flown now automatically either way. But who of us would go into the plane without a pilot, right? So probably there are like people that would do it, but there are also people that are jumping over high cliffs, right? So we have different kind of like thresholds for for what we think is reasonable, but like reasonably and legally, right? You cannot replace doctors. We can help them make better decisions. We can help aggregate data for them, aggregate data, make sense out of data, right? Find connections in the data, find those hidden kind of like as we say, like it's not not causation, right? But there can be connections between different cases, but of like sickness, and for imaging as well. Even now, AI is used for like AI diagnosis, but it's very limited, right? For it's you can even if you put AI in the hospital now, even now, right? It's not like you can imagine. It's not like how do you imagine it. It's you cannot change it. You cannot parameter. You cannot put any parameters on it, right? It's as it is, and it's more like it's funny because it's more like adjusting how hospital works to AI. So AI model is kind of unchanged. You have to adjust the how you make expositions, so how you make the image of a patient to fit the model and work with the model, right? So it's kind of not how we imagine this, and it's from legal perspective. But yeah, but I think that's
Thank you.
As everywhere, it will help with data.
Thank you, Rafał. And I will ask you the same. I think this is very important from the business perspective. Where do you see AI giving the biggest advantage right now for your industry, in your perspective, specifically?
I think because there's this shift in education from being one where they're just like consumers of information to being kind of creators of information. I think that's the shift that I see coming. But also, I think it allows us to diversify what we share as educators with our students. So we're getting a wide variety of learning needs. And whether you're in a traditional school or an untraditional school, you have such a wide variety and learning gaps that happen. AI allows us to really take those tools and customize it for that individual child. And so, whereas it may have taken us a really long time, 26 years ago when I started out as a teacher, it might take me 7 hours to write a lesson plan and diversify it based on my students' needs. Now I can do that in about 45 minutes for an entire population of 30 students. So I think it's allowing us to individualize the learning for children in a way that we haven't been able to do to this point.
Yeah, this is a very important topic, like AI and kids. I'm also a father of two teenagers, and what I see right now, kids are more open to. In general, kids are always the first, okay? Trailblazers always try first new technology solutions, things like this, which are free to use. And I see a lot of situations where my kids are embracing using AI, doing the homework, for instance, like asking some questions. So, what's your opinion on this topic? Like, as a parent, as an educator, what do you think about the aspect of responsibility and the whole aspect of trust and safety regarding AI and education and kids, new generations?
I think that it's really important. And I think it's important, just like we teach anything in education, that we talk about this and we talk about its acceptable use. And so we developed AI driver's license. You have to have a certain amount of responsibility to drive a car, to become CPR certified, all of those things. It's a skill set that you have to show that you know what you're doing in order to receive that little thing that gives you that license. I looked at AI in the same sense of they need a license to be able to operate. So that means they understand the implications of copying and pasting. We're having discussions about moral dilemmas. We're having a discussion about, like, is this going to take over the world? So, we had a 2-week challenge that we used AI to help us formulate that uses our model of learning, and it's their AI driver's license. And so they need to complete those series of tasks in order to be able to use it. And we tried to gamify it more than anything because we want them to stay engaged with the information so that they understand at the end of it the choices that they have in front of them, the choices that they can make, because it can become a big, ugly monster if we don't talk about parameters or boundaries around it. But I think it's really I think for education as a whole to say you're not allowed to use it, that again is like telling a child, like, don't touch that cake right there. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. They're going to want to find a way to do it and they're going to do it anyway. So why don't we understand the rules and parameters around it? So just like front loading or onboarding a new employee, I look at AI the same way. We're kind of onboarding them in the process, but we made it more gamified, I guess you could say, so that they have to go through that so that they understand the good and the bad of its use.
Gotcha. Thank you very much for this. I mean, Jason, uh, I will start another round. Next question. What do you think about AI in general? How AI will impact the way how we work in general in the long term? Do you see something changing right now in your industry? Is AI somehow impacting your industry, the way how people work, actually, the workforce and things related to the employees?
Yeah, I think we're seeing a few things happen in the real estate industry with AI. We're seeing the ones that are just refusing to adapt to it.
Interesting.
And there's a variety of reasons for that, but to Amy's point, like it does need to be implemented, I think, in probably every industry. It's probably similar to how in the 90s Microsoft came out with Excel, and not everybody wanted to jump on the Excel bandwagon, and probably eventually the people who didn't want to use Excel lost their jobs to people who are willing to use it. Um, but then we're seeing two things with the people that are implementing it. We're seeing people that are trying to use it to almost completely replace them, to do everything for them except the final thing of closing the sale, which maybe works sometimes. But we're a relationship based industry. Um, so sure, I have like, auto emails that go out or auto text messages that go out, and I utilize some forms of automation when somebody's on my website looking at homes, that it'll automatically build a search for them if they see that they're looking at like similar types of homes in the similar type of area in a similar price range. The AI is going to kick in and build a search based directly on that for them. But where we're seeing other people go is they're using that as a place to have a conversation, pick up the phone and call them, not just rely on these automations. So I see it overtaking my industry in a lot of ways. We also see a lot of people just copying and pasting listing descriptions into the
Yeah,
MLS.
but Jason, but at the end, uh, do you see you can achieve more with less? Like,
I think there's a happy medium. I think there's a happy medium there. I think it is an amazing tool that should be utilized, that we should all be
mhm.
using. Um, and I think we should definitely be using the automations, because I know I'm definitely considerably more productive because of AI in my business now than I was in 2014 when I first started my
Yeah, but
business.
do you actually have more free time? Like automation is, of course, something beautiful. We all see
Well, I
opportunities
guess
here,
it's
but
not.
do you have more free time if you can automate, like, inbound and outbound
Sure, probably
marketing?
not, but I'm probably focusing on other things that I'm able to grow my business, so I'm not there monitoring every little aspect and texting every little thing out of the way.
Gotcha.
My clients get
So
automatic
this is
text message
about
updates.
priorities. What's more important? You can outsource
Correct.
the less important topics to AI, and you can focus on more meaningful outcomes for you, probably.
Correct. Like I think Amy mentioned content creation earlier. That's a great one. I don't need I'm not in the social media business, but my social media presence is important. I don't need to hire a social media manager. I can just ask ChatGPT. I'm a realtor. I need, give me 5 weeks of content creation and things that I should be posting on my social media. I'll have an answer in 5 minutes. It'll even give me scripts and the exact way to film it and edit it and everything that would have taken me hours to figure out on my own. So, do I have more time technically to do more things for my business?
Okay, thank you very much for this. Rafael, I will ask you probably a difficult question,
Always.
to go a little bit deeper within this topic of AI outsourcing. Uh, uh, outsourcing different functions. What is the part of the business potential of your business, of any kind of business, you would never fully give to AI? Like you will never rely on AI, and you will keep it under your supervision, or you will keep employee for doing that stuff.
Probably many many parts, but like I would like look from my kind of like a perspective, business decisions. I wouldn't
Okay,
make
business
them
decisions. Okay.
business decisions, communication with customers and also with employees. I would do everything not for AI, not to influence the company culture.
Gotcha.
Right? I wouldn't want the AI to change how we relate to ourselves, how we think about our company, and how to our values, kind of, right? I wouldn't like to do that, because that's kind of like changing who we are, right? So that's not. So I think like those are the main points. Right? I think like, as I mentioned, like I treat AI as a tool, as a mean to get to the target. It's not a target. Like I don't treat AI as a target. I treat AI as a tool to get into the target. And what gets you to the target is your mission, your vision, you as a company, you as a founder, you as an employee, you as a person. That's what makes the business, not AI is operations, right? For me, AI is like a tool for operations, for helping me with decisions. So I wouldn't allow it to influence things that should be kind of, and that will be differentiated, I think, in the future, right? We have a lot of people kind of like relying, like Amy mentioned and Jason mentioned, like relying everything to AI, or like using AI as a like a mental support, kind of, right? Nothing will replace personal relations. If you have to replace it to machine, that's kind of red flag. I would kind of like look into this and find a way to help myself, right? You have to keep your kind of heads on, and you have to understand yourself, right? I think that's in this time of age, I think like what we are seeing a lot is kind of people forgetting who they are and what's important.
Thank you. Last question, because we are also almost at the top of the hour. I will ask one question, final question, something to share, something easy for everybody, for our viewers, for our attendees. What is one small low risk way for someone to start using AI this week or today? Like what kind of small low risk thing to try would you share? Maybe Jason.
I mean, I guess this applies for both business or personal, but I know me personally, I've been going to ChatGPT or Gemini before I Google something now. So maybe that's like the best way to do it. It could be as simple as, where should I go for dinner tonight? It can be more complex as, I want to automate something in my business. I think there's really no right or wrong to it. You can't break these systems. You can't
As
break
a
it.
business owner, low
Yeah,
risk
low risk. I would
to start.
say find whatever have it write an email for you. If you
Okay,
have to respond to
okay.
an email, here's the
Emails.
email. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Amy, from your perspective, how to start today, this week, low risk, low effort to try AI in your daily business activities?
I think look at what you spend the most time doing. That's low level. That's kind of low level, but it means a lot. So responding to emails, perhaps, if you're getting the same type of inquiries, start there. Start with some type of communication that you can formulate that allows you to respond to inquiries more consistently.
Do you have like a specific habit, drill, specific tool you're using for this? You can
I
recommend us?
do. So kind of through the drip email system, things that come. So now I send out a more specific questionnaire that parents have to answer in order to go on to the next step. And that can be automated, but I was allowed to take our lessons learned and streamline the process a little bit better so that my interviews focus on how the parents feel rather than how the child feels. And it allowed us to do that. Takes a lot of time to respond to those inquiries. I can get anywhere from 50 to 100 over a couple weeks. And so it allows us to just have that response be more embedded, but then we're getting that information and I can synthesize that information. Then I can take their response and say, use it to give me a metric of like, is this a good fit or not? So it does give me that feedback, and it's low level because I still at the end of the day make the decision. It just helps me synthesize the information kind of from a higher viewpoint.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. Rafael, I will ask you exactly the same. Low risk way to start using AI in your business environment.
I think maybe like Amy hit the nail on the head, right? The thing you should start like thinking about is the things that are you are spending most time on, right?
Okay.
And try to automatize them. But I would say like also like what Jason's like try to answer email with like, oh, I have this like message, like help me answer this, right? And see what you get. Or maybe you are doing research, right? You want to see what competition is charging which are charging for similar services or similar products. I use it a lot, right? To kind of like position what we are doing that kind of research. Okay, like what's kind of like market value of this? That can be like something interesting if you're curious. How much your service is costing in your region, or depending on your business, right? You can start with that, asking questions about the world, right, and about your business environment.
Okay, thank you very much. I will also answer this question. I was thinking about this for long today to share something about start using with low risk. Because in most cases, everybody
it's
asks.
cheating, right? We didn't have like time to think, and you had time to think. So it has to be good. Like give it us.
Okay, so I always I'm receiving those questions like about the AI and the reliability, how AI is reliable, how can we like how big level of trust can we put into AI, and for everybody who has doubts, has some like doubts about like the AI answers or output. My answer to this will be always like with this low risk. Hey, try with a specific tool. Probably I can share the name. It's a notebook LM from Google. This tool works a different way than casual chatbot, and that's the beauty of this tool. It's very low risk because the AI will generate the answer only based on your inputs, and it's called like grounded answer, grounded output. So what I mean by this, you're gonna ask a question, you're gonna submit the prompt, and the notebook LLM will only look through the sources you provided and create the answer using, of course, a specific language model, but based only on the inputs you provided. So if you're gonna have a book about dogs, like a encyclopedia of dogs or something, you're gonna ask about specific breed, and you're gonna submit something like this, like a text to specific topic as a resource, as a source for Notebook LM. It will only look through into this one document. It will also highlight exactly where to find this document, so we don't have to do like Control F search in the text for specific answer. We're gonna have the answer provided by a model, and you have all the quotes from the sources from the document. It also works with YouTube. So for instance, if you're like discovering a specific topic, doing research about a specific topic, for instance, okay, let's keep those dogs, okay. that's a personal topic because like we have the family discussion right now. Should we get a dog? What kind of a dog? So I'm exploring this with my kids. So you can for instance like open YouTube, find different YouTube clips about different dogs, like people presenting different breeds, like discussions, like any kind of YouTubes. You can add those links to YouTube's directly to the Notebook LM, and Notebook LM will only search and provide the output based on those inputs. And that's the beauty of this tool. And yes, because it's Google, so it's like fully compatible with YouTube. It will like even give you a timestamp about something specific. So that's a very safe way of getting reliable answers from a chatbot based on sources you're gonna provide for the chatbot. So that's my hint for today. Probably something good to start for everybody with some doubts to AI. Okay,
Now let's move to let's do the questions from the chat.
Okay, I tried to cover. We have some questions regarding Visionaries NV. We have some questions regarding Visionaries NV, but those are very specific questions, so that's probably better. It will be probably better to answer them offline. Okay, maybe last question from the chat. Maybe Rafael, which AI organization's tools have served you best or would better suit a startup with limited funds? So it's a complicated question, but maybe somebody, Jason, maybe Amy would like to take this one. Which AI organization tools? I believe this is like some kind of recommendation for a startup.
We are like we are using like ChatGPT, like Tom is like a big user of ChatGPT. I'm using ChatGPT and Perplexity for research, but I know that there is a difference between paid version and free version. And if you kind of like are in the subject recently, right? OpenAI would love you to buy ChatGPT, right? They would love you to pay for it, right? So because they are a bit under, right? So
Gotcha.
So it's up to us to keep them afloat. Right?
I will ask Amy your opinion. Are you willing to pay for the service? Or it's fine for you to use free services? What's your opinion on this?
I would say that I would be willing to pay for it if it came to the point that I needed to, but I haven't yet. So we use chat, but I also use Notebook LM quite a bit. And I just haven't, I added it as part of our, so all of our learners have access to it as well. And I haven't had to pay for anything because I don't go over that limit. So like on a daily basis, you get, what is it, 5 or something? You get to ask 5 questions, 6 or whatever it is. I haven't gone over that yet. So I haven't had to, I've been able to get by on the free version.
Okay, thank you. And Jason, the last but not least.
Yeah. I do. I pay for ChatGPT. They're like lowest level one. I know they have one that's like $300 a month. I think it's 14.99 or 19.99 a month. I do pay for that. I use Google for Business. So like my entire email and backend is through Google. So that actually comes with the paid version of Gemini. So indirectly, I also use the subscription version of Gemini. Um, I recommend it just because I'm using it so much and I'm going over those 5 questions and I'm retooling things and for that purpose. Also, another one that's a really good organizational tool. If you go to conferences, it's called Otter AI, Otter AI. I think the most expensive plan is like $20 a month. And you can get it for the short time that you're at the conference. Whenever I go to a conference, I'll get it because then I can record. I can just put my phone out and just have like it record what the speaker is speaking about. It allows me to stay engaged and present in it instead of writing all
and
these
get
notes
the
down.
transcript and get the transcript.
And then I can even ask Otter AI, like,
Yeah,
summarize what this
yep.
speaker just said, and it'll give me, a one-page summary of a 2 hour presentation that I heard. So, and that's one that you can just get, as needed.
Definitely, this is something probably very important to highlight and elaborate a little bit more. All those AI assistants for video calls. That's something I'm paying for on top of Open AI subscription. I'm using 107. I'm not. I don't want to promote the name, so I'm gonna keep the name for myself. But this is something I really finding really helpful for business owners like me also, and doing my daily work. So for a very specific conversations meetings I'm gonna record, but not just the purpose to for itself to record, to have the recording but I'm more using this one in a different way. I'm using the transcript, and I'm having like a follow-up conversation with transcript to eventually look for more facts or specific hooks, things to address. So I like to post factum have another conversation with the past conversation, but just to dig for more. Is there something I miss, or there's something I should like focus on, with something's more important? I can ask multiple questions. So this is how I use such tools. Guys, thank you very much for this. That's gonna be everything for today. Maybe last sentence from our guests. You can share anything you would like to share. Maybe there's something you would add to past topics we have discussed, or just your message to our viewers about AI. I will start with Emmy.
Um, I think that when people say it's going to take over the world, I don't know that it can never replace us. And I'll go back to Terminator, how we started, like looking at that, like you're never going to replace that human quality that exists
Human
within
in the
us.
loop. Human in the loop. Very important. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Emmy. Raphael, your message to business owners, entrepreneurs who are afraid of AI. Last sentence to the person.
Like, I also like there's no escaping from it, right? So it's better to kind of use it in a right way, in an educated way, as we were like mentioning over this presentation. There is just like no escaping, I would say, right? But it's down to us to kind of do it in a reasonable way. And one more thing, like if I pasted my Calendly in the chat. So if you want to talk about those international subjects like US expansion, expanding to Poland from US, or like globalization as well, like if that's something you would like to talk about, I'm happy to kind of grab a short coffee with you and talk
Yes,
online individually.
I see we have such question from Pavel Opatka. So Pavel, feel free to book a session, book a call with Raphael. Thank you very much, Raphael, for this. And Jason, your last message, your message to business owners about AI, those business
Yeah.
owners who are still afraid of.
Look, just go in there, find one that you want to try out and just use it. You can't break it. Have it write that email for you. Have it make a quick spreadsheet for you or whatever it is. Just because it's making it doesn't mean you have to implement it. So if you wanted to respond to an email, throw the email in there, see the response. And if you like the response, but it's not maybe the way you would say it, teach it over time, how you speak, how you write, and it will fine tune itself. But just go in there. You're not going to break it, and you're not going to break your business because you don't have to implement it if you don't like it.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Emmy, Jason, Raphael, thank you much one more time. Much
Thank you so
appreciated.
much.
I hope you all enjoy our mastermind roundtable about AI and business. I hope to see you soon in a month time. Just as a final remark to close this meeting, this meeting was hosted by VisionariesNV, your business partner in the United States, in Nevada. Visionaries NV can help you soft land in United States to grow your business, scale your business here in States. And TechEdge Dynamics, your friendly venture studio, providing multiple technical capabilities to different industries and business owners. Thank you one more time. See you soon. Have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you. Have
Thank
a
you.
good one. All the best.